You know something is different about you, not in a way that makes you feel better than others, but in a way that makes you feel like you never fully belong to the noise, the distractions, the games that most people play. You've always felt like something inside you doesn't fit into the world, the way it's structured. And here's the truth that no one told you. That feeling is real. It's not a glitch, it's a signal. Because if you're one of the chosen ones, the universe has already placed ancient knowledge inside you, and it's been waiting for the right moment to activate. And that activation isn't loud or dramatic, it's subtle, but it changes everything. You begin to sense that you know things you were never taught, that you feel truths before you hear them, that your perception of reality cuts through the surface and sees into what others miss. That's not just intuition, it's embedded wisdom. The universe doesn't teach you through books when you're chosen, it awakens you from within. The signs are there, and if you've seen them, you've already begun the process of reclaiming that ancient knowledge. Let's talk about the first sign. When you hear or read something spiritual, something ancient, something powerful, and you feel like you already knew it, like it's not new information but a memory that's been triggered. That's because your soul has seen this before, lived through this before. Ancient knowledge is not learned, it's remembered. The universe stores it inside your energy field, and life brings you experiences that trigger its activation. You might not be able to explain how you know what you know, but your body reacts: goosebumps, chills, a rush of energy, as if your system is saying, yes, this is it. That's not imagination. That's your internal archive waking up. And the more you follow that feeling, the more the knowledge surfaces. But here's the challenge: will you trust the knowledge that comes without proof, or will you wait for validation and miss the moment? The second sign is an unexplainable sense of urgency, a feeling that you're here for a reason. That time is ticking, and you can't afford to waste your energy on meaningless things. You see others distracted, numbed out, chasing things that drain them, and it frustrates you not because you're judging them, but because you can feel the weight of your own calling. That urgency is a sign the knowledge inside you is ready to be used. Ancient knowledge is not decorative, it's active. It's meant to guide action, to shift energy, to impact lives. When it activates, the universe compresses time for you, not to stress you, but to align you. Because your presence, your choices, your energy are needed now. Not when you're ready, but now. The knowledge won't stay dormant forever. It's pressing, moving, alive.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The third sign is you see patterns in chaos. When others see random events, you see synchronicity. When others are confused, you connect dots. It's like reality speaks to you in a different language: symbols, numbers, energies. You can feel what's about to happen, sense shifts before they occur. That's ancient knowledge operating through perception. You've accessed levels of awareness that decode reality in real time. You might feel overwhelmed by it at first because you're not sure what to do with it, but the purpose is simple: to guide you into precision. Chosen ones are not here to be overwhelmed. They're here to bring order to chaos, not through control, but through presence, through insight, through action that's informed by ancient wisdom, not modern confusion. Fourth, you attract certain people without trying: people who sense something in you, even if they can't name it. They come to you for answers, for clarity, for energy. Some are drawn, others are threatened. But the energy is undeniable. That's because your field is charged with ancient frequency, and frequency speaks louder than words. When you speak, you often say what people needed to hear, even if you didn't plan it. That's ancient knowledge moving through you. It's not about being right, it's about being in tune. You carry codes that activate others, and your presence becomes a mirror, a trigger, a catalyst. But here's the deep question. Do you hide your energy to make others comfortable, or do you live in full resonance regardless of how others respond? And the fifth sign, the dreams, the visions, the sudden downloads of insight that shake you, guide you, and sometimes scare you. They feel too real, too detailed, too intense. That's not random. Ancient knowledge moves through symbols, through dreams, through altered states of awareness. Your access to higher realms is not accidental. It's part of your design. The universe is communicating with you directly, not through logic, but through resonance. Are you listening? The knowledge planted inside you is not decoration. It is not there to make you feel special or superior. It is there because the reality around you is at a breaking point. And only those who carry the codes, who carry the memory, who carry the frequency, can stabilize it, direct it, elevate it. When you ignore the activation, the knowledge begins to decay, not because it disappears, but because it turns into pressure, into frustration, into inner conflict. You start to feel like your life is moving in circles, like you are meant for something but can't seem to access it. That is the consequence of unused wisdom. Ancient knowledge is a living energy. It demands movement. If you don't use it, it turns against you not as punishment, but as a correction, a push back into alignment. Chosen ones are not chosen to be passive. They are chosen to shift timelines, to influence collective energy, to bring clarity into confusion. But that influence only happens when you stop waiting for ideal conditions and start applying what you know, even if no one sees it, even if no one claps for it, even if you feel alone. Because the universe does not measure impact by applause, it measures by alignment, by action, by energy shifted in the unseen. If you've been given ancient knowledge, you have a responsibility to act, not to save the world, but to live in a way that radiates truth, that cuts through illusion, that lifts those around you by presence, not force. Presence is the real power, and that presence comes when you stop hiding, when you stop doubting, when you start using the knowledge now, even in small actions, even in quiet moments. Because every time you use it, it grows stronger, it guides more, it sharpens your reality. You begin to see that you are not here by accident. Your timing, your location, your experiences have all been aligned to awaken the knowledge inside you now. The question is, will you use it? Or will you drown in the noise of a world that is designed to distract you from it? Because if you wait for safety, if you wait for clarity before you act, the knowledge will start to feel like a weight, like a burden, because it is meant to move, not to sit still. The longer it sits, the heavier it feels, and that heaviness is not depression, it is delayed purpose. Delayed purpose turns into regret, into cycles of self-doubt, into anxiety, because your soul knows you are not living the truth. The longer you wait, the more life will push, the signs will get louder, the urgency will increase, not because you are failing, but because the knowledge is alive, and it must move, it must express, It must shape your reality. When you use it, when you speak from it, act from it, create from it, you begin to access a flow that cannot be explained, a speed, a precision, a timing that others call luck. But you know it is alignment. It is ancient power coming through a modern vessel. That vessel is you. Now, the decision is not about worthiness, it is about willingness. Because the knowledge is already yours, the codes are already active. Now, the only thing left is use or waste, action or decay, destiny or delay. Choose. When you finally choose to act and let that ancient knowledge guide your steps, you stop feeling lost. You stop questioning your place in the world. Because purpose replaces confusion and movement replaces hesitation, everything you once feared begins to lose its power over you. Not because fear vanishes, but because it becomes irrelevant in the presence of clarity, and clarity is the first true expression of ancient wisdom. You realize that the world doesn't need more information, it needs more people who live their truth without hesitation. And that truth lives inside you, not in theories, not in borrowed beliefs, but in the wisdom that has been sitting quietly inside you, waiting for space. Waiting for you to stop doubting it, stop silencing it, and start trusting that it knows where to lead you. The knowledge doesn't need proof. It creates proof. The more you move with it, the more reality shifts to reflect your alignment. People start reacting to your energy differently. Doors begin to open without force. Opportunities arise where before there was only resistance. Because now you are not trying to make things happen, you are allowing what is aligned to move through you. That shift is everything. You become the vessel, the conduit, the channel, and in that space, you no longer feel drained or scattered, because energy is no longer leaking into battles that aren't yours, into distractions that serve no purpose, into doubt that never belonged to you. You are no longer accessible to the forces that once fed on your confusion. You have become something else, something steady, something quiet but unshakable, something the world recognizes even if it can't explain. This is what ancient knowledge does. It doesn't make you loud, it makes you undeniable. You don't need to convince anyone. Your energy does the speaking, and those who are meant to hear it will hear it, and those who are not will fall away, and that's not loss. It's alignment. You begin to see that nothing is truly taken from you. Only what's not aligned will leave, and what remains will rise with you. You become fearless not because danger disappears, but because your energy no longer negotiates with fear. You walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere, not because you want power, but because you've claimed presence, and presence is rare, presence is felt. Presence is the proof that you are no longer hiding, no longer shrinking, no longer apologizing for knowing what you know. And now everything becomes clear. You were never meant to fit into the world as it is, you were meant to reshape it, simply by being in full alignment with the ancient codes that live inside you. Every step you take from this place becomes precise. Your words carry weight. Your silence carries force. Your movement creates ripples that reach further than you can see. This is the real purpose of ancient knowledge, not to give you control, but to give you peace, not to lift you above others, but to anchor you so deeply in truth that nothing can pull you out again. And now you realize there was never anything missing. It was always in you. Now live it. You don't rise by learning more, you rise by remembering what's already inside you and finally acting on it without hesitation, without waiting for perfect conditions or approval or permission. The knowledge you carry is not passive, it's alive. When you suppress it, it doesn't disappear, it turns into frustration, into restlessness, into a quiet storm inside that won't let you settle for less than your full alignment. That storm doesn't punish you, it pushes you. It forces you to confront everything you've avoided so you can finally step into the authority that's already yours, not as a title, not as a role, but as a frequency. Once you step into that frequency, your life starts accelerating in ways you can't predict because you've stopped resisting your design. You've stopped shrinking from your own power, and now you're a force not because you control anything outside, but because you're no longer controlled by anything inside. The clarity that comes with that is unmatched. You stop second-guessing every decision. You stop explaining your energy to people who don't get it. You stop trying to fit in where you've outgrown. You start to move differently, not louder, but sharper, not faster, but deeper. Everything around you starts aligning with that depth because the world responds to frequency before it responds to words. Now your frequency is coherent, stable, charged with purpose that doesn't need to prove itself. The right people feel it, the right doors open, the noise fades because you've chosen alignment over distraction, clarity over comfort, movement over delay. This is the shift that makes you untouchable, not immune to challenges, but immune to manipulation, because you know who you are and what you carry. What you carry is not random, it's ancient, and it's now. Every time you act in alignment with it, you rise.